Hello, this is Elena from Mirrix Looms, and today I'm going to talk to you about adding different sized beads to the same bead weaving. Here I have a mini Mirrix loom that has a no warp ends kit on it. Now there are different ways to add different sized beads. Basically it comes down to math, to figuring out, okay, let's say I want to put a bead in this row here. How many beads would equal that one crystal that I have there? So let's say I figure out that 2 11-0 Delica beads equals that crystal. Then I could fit 2 beads in there, and that's a good way of vertically adding different size beads. Now what I've done here is I'm basically doing 2 different bead weavings next to each other, and I'm actually weaving these up separately. And because I've done that, I have this effect of different size beads here and here. So you can see here that I have 2 crystals and then I have 1 longer double hole bead, and that there are some spaces between the double hole beads. That was part of the design. But if you wanted them to fit perfectly, you'd want to find horizontally across beads where the 2 crystals equaled whatever bead was here. So maybe you have different size crystals, maybe you have more than 1 bead, maybe you have a different longer bead like that. So you sort of have to do the math to figure out what fits and what works. So I'm just going to show you how I weave a piece like this. I have put my crystal and my double hole bead on my needle, and I'm just going to weave in the basic way where you put your crystal and your bead behind your warp threads, and then you weave through. So you just are sewing your bead on. Now because this is a double hole bead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 more crystal on my thread, put that under, and then go through the hole in the double hole bead again. So what happens there is now I go through that second hole. So it's almost like I put on a different bead, but it's just the same one. So that's it. It is as easy as that. So now I'm just going to show you how to weave this piece. As I said, I'm weaving these 2 different pieces separately. Now it's a little bit more difficult to weave this piece than it would a regular piece because you have this in the way, but it's still very easy to do. So I've just strung up my beads. I have 8 Delica beads here, 11-0. I've put them behind my piece just like the way I did the other one. I mean, this is just very basic bead weaving. I'm kind of popping them through, and then I'm just going to sew through on the top there. And that is it. That is how incredibly easy it is. And so you have a really fun effect here of the smaller beads and the larger beads. I've also been playing with some embellishments on Loom on the sides. It's going to be kind of a funky, weird bracelet, but it shows you some of the really neat things that you can do on a loom. It doesn't have to be all the same size beads all across in a square or a rectangle. So I just want to show you here how I would weave with different beads vertically instead of horizontally. Now I've measured and I figured out that 3 Delicas equal 1 of these crystals. So I've put 3 Delicas here on my needle, and I'm just going to go through and do the same thing, but 3 Delicas are going to go in that space over the crystal. I'm just going to weave through right here. Now this isn't actually what I'm going to do on this piece. I just wanted to show you how it works. But see that? Right there, we have our 3 Delicas. So we can really kind of change around the piece if we do something like that. Here, maybe 2 Delicas would have fit and we could go all the way across. But you can just see all the possibilities there are when you combine different size beads on a Mirrix loom. Thanks for watching.